Okay, welcome to Moogi Talk. I am going to cover topics about box office and I kind of want to jump straight in. First topic is, as you see right here or over here, is Lilo and Stitch. Um, Came out this weekend. This movie is turning out to be a huge success for Disney. Um, let's go over box office for other live remakes and then we'll compare it to this one just to understand how huge of a success this is. I made a spreadsheet showing uh, Lilo and Stitch right here and going over the table you can see all the live remakes starting with Cinderella from 2015 and ending up in Lilo and Stitch. And we can see the production budget, marketing estimate, total break-even cost, which is what the movie needs to make in order to start to make profit for the studio. And then the numbers of how much did the movie make, um, taking away from that what the studio actually makes, which is not 100%. I took 50, even though my understanding is that domestic market and international are not the same, and international studios take less. Um, I don't know. I just took 50. I think it will work just fine. And then the net profit that the movie made. Um, and if we try to get rid of some of the columns here, just a second to get it all in one view. Okay, so starting with Cinderella, Cinderella was a very good movie to start with. It made around $100 million for the studio. You can see that after it, there was another success with the Jungle Book, followed by another success with Beauty and the Beast, making a net profit of over 300 million for the studio. After that, Dumbo lost, uh, Aladdin, which was a good movie if you ask me, also lost. And then The Lion King was a huge success for the studio, of course. It made over a billion and a half in the box office. And it made a bunch of money for Disney. Mulan, I don't have the numbers because it was during the COVID time. Then Cruella lost money. Jungle Cruise, I don't even know if this is supposed to be on the list. I added it. Pinocchio lost a bunch. And recently, the Little Mermaid also lost quite a lot. However, as you can see, Lilo and Stitch, the beauty of it is that the budget, let's see, I think I hid the budget. Yeah, total break-even cost, fine. Let's hide it again. Total break-even. So you can see that the total break-even for Lilo and Stitch is very small. Compared to the Little Mermaid, which is the reason why it lost so much. And already in the first weekend of the movie, it's close to breaking even, which is absolutely amazing. Let's see the legs that the movie will have, but it definitely has the potential to earn a lot for the studio. Already making 340 in the worldwide box office. It's quite amazing. Leave in the comments if you went to see the movie, what you think. I would love to hear it. And with that, let's jump to the next one. I would like to talk about The Conjuring, Last Rites. This movie is not yet in the cinema. It will be. It's coming. And I thought it would be fun to talk about what do I think will happen in the box office, to see why the studio made the movie and so on. For that, I went over the budget for the franchise, and let's jump straight in. The thing I like about horror movies is that they usually have a very small budget and they often become profitable. Um, One good example is The Visit. Let me search it up. Yeah. So The Visit, I remember the budget for it was very small, like $5 million, and it ended up making above 80, let's say. Let's have a look, just a second. Yeah, 5. This doesn't include the marketing and all. You can double it, let's say 10. It's still very, very small. And it made in the box office. Let's see, just a second. Yeah, worldwide it was very close to 100 million. And just to remind you, this movie came after the director had a streak of really bad movies. So I was quite surprised back then to see what the movie made. And it's also one of the reasons I really like horror movies. And it also applies here. The Conjuring, you can see that the budget is usually very small. I think the next one is actually quite big. And let's hide the columns. Production, marketing estimate. So you see that the break even is really small, and usually net profit ends with a plus. It makes money for the studio, which is great. I think Annabelle 3 made the list, but I think it's obvious it was during the COVID time, so I wouldn't expect it to make a lot. I think this is the first one after COVID, and I'm pretty sure the audience is quite thirsty to see the new one in the cinema. So my personal projection, don't quote me here, is that the movie will make worldwide around 300 million, and it will make north of 50 million for the studio. I don't know if you saw the trailer. There's a trailer that you can go and see. I think the trailer looks good. I think it goes back to the feeling of the first one, the horror and the scare jumps. I kind of felt some of those, especially around Annabelle, were not as strong. Even though Annabelle 2 made really good in the box office. I kind of feel like this next one has a good chance. It really depends if the audience is still open for a sequel. Sometimes, when there's a streak of movies that don't do well, the next one kind of suffers. It does look like it's going to be the last one, so maybe it will get the audience to see it. I don't know. I would love to hear what you think. If you love the franchise so far, leave it in the comments. Let's jump to the next one. Next topic, I'm sorry. Before we jump to Mission Impossible, of course, also opened this weekend, I went to see it with my kids, and I kind of want to talk about one of the trailers there. Mission Impossible is a PG-13 movie. My youngest is 9, and I showed her the previous ones. She loves the franchise. She was waiting to go and see it. It's kind of like a family event. We always have fun. the excitement before, the stunts. So we went to the movie, and I have to say, I was shocked when the 28 years later trailer showed up. 28 years later is an R-rated movie. I don't think it should be before a PG-13 one, especially not, there's the shot where the priest has like his entire face covered with blood. And even if you close your eyes, the sound of all the zombies is just not something I think a 9-year-old needs to be exposed to. I am fine exposing her to Mission Impossible. You usually don't see, blood or, I mean, violence you see, but it's obvious that it's not scary, if you know what I mean. This specific Mission Impossible had blood, which was kind of surprising to me. But again, I don't think it was too much. I think it was quite fine. And if you know the scene I'm talking about, the camera turns away. And I think they made something really smart there. If you didn't go to see it yet, go to see it. Tell me if you also had 28 years later in the trailers, if you noticed that it's there, and how did you feel? Did you take your kids or not? I would love to hear it in the comments. And now let's jump to the big topic, Mission Impossible box office. And the title that I'm going to give the topic is Mission Impossible is going to lose tons of money, and I don't know why no one is talking about it. Let's jump straight here. This is Mission Impossible. Here we go. This is the franchise, and let's hide the columns that break down the budget. We don't care. Hide. So starting from the first one made a decent amount. It's obvious that they made a second one. We all know that the second one was a disappointment. Fine, it still made a fair amount. The third one came out 6 years after. First of all, they took a big gap, and everybody still remembered, the previous one. So the third one lost, but the third one was good. And I kind of feel like after that, the franchise really found its nature of sort. And you can see that from the fourth one and on, the box office was really strong. However, then they made Dead Reckoning Part 1 or not Part 1. And with all the COVID and stuff, that movie lost. And I was quite disappointed from the box office when that happened. It was right after Maverick came out. And Maverick, if you don't know, made tons of money, crossed I think $1.5 billion. And I was really hoping for Mission Impossible that came after it to pull the biggest of the franchise, especially because 3, 4, 5, 6 were all very strong, very good. My favorite is Rogue Nation, but I heard from a lot that Fallout is actually theirs. And I was very disappointed to see how it kind of flopped in a way in the box office. And then I saw the trailer for this one, and I was very happy. I thought it has a very good potential, to redeem the effort. And then I looked at the budget, and I was shocked to see that the budget, so the movie cost $400 million to make. That's at least what I found online. I know that there's a rule of thumb to double for the marketing. I don't think it cost 400 to market this one. So I gave it like 100, 150 for the marketing. That means that the movie needs to make 500 or 550 to break even. I don't think it's going to make it. Not only don't I think it's going to make it, I think it's going to lose the studio a lot. I wrote around 400 here. Even if it loses 200, 300, it's still a lot. Let's see, it might have legs. The summer break is around the corner. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. You might be asking, so why did they do it, right? Why do the movie if that's the case? And that's a very interesting question. My understanding is that they already shot it. They shot part one and what was meant to be part two um, at the same time. So they already had the movie. I don't think they planned for the first one to flop as much, and I think they decided to go with this one. Maybe to minimize the loss. I mean, it's still a good movie. I'm happy that it's out there. Also, we need to remember, it's not only from the cinema that they make the money. They also sell it, for streaming um, and other things. I don't really know. I'm assuming that the studio will see a lot of the money coming back to them, but I, I kind of feel sad that this is the last one, or at least maybe it's not the last one, but it looks like it's going to be the last one, at least with Tom Cruise, at least as the main character, let's say it like that. So I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments. This is what I wanted to talk about. I would love to hear your thoughts. I'll try to come back next week to talk about box office of next weekend. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.